Hello and welcome to Black Hair in the Big Leagues. Honey, I'm your host, Salisha Thomas, and I am so excited because today we have on somebody. She is not on Broadway, but she's literally the reason why I decided to pursue, one of the main reasons why I decided to pursue Broadway. She is such a badass. She is a model, a blogger, a full-time influencer, which that's a new thing. She's modeled for companies such as Macy's, Walmart, Disney. The list literally goes on. She started her own modeling management company called McIntyre Model Management. She is plant-based. She's a fitness enthusiast. She's a mother of 4 gorgeous children and was Mrs. California, one of my best friends,
Yes.
Chantea McIntyre.
Hi, friend. It's so weird to hear you say all those things. How are you? I love you.
I love you. Oh my goodness. How are you?
I'm good.
See now, okay. For those of you who are listening and y'all can't see this gorgeousness that's happening on the screen,
So funny.
less than 10 minutes
Oh, yeah.
ago, Chantea was in pajamas.
I look like a homewrecker. Not homewrecker. A
No.
home. The
The
opposite.
The opposite of a
I look
homewrecker.
homeless. Homemaker. Homemaker is what I was trying
A
to say.
homemaker, not a homewrecker. Oh my goodness. Literally, truly, less than 10 minutes ago, your hair was in a bun. You had on a little do-rag, no makeup.
Yes.
And this now,
Well,
you got...
Yes, for sure. That transformation just happened. But also lighting is key, right? I did have you in like a back corner when we were trying to figure out this technology setup.
That
But
does
also
not take all of the credit.
but also I did throw on a face really quickly, and we should have recorded that transformation because it is kind of fun.
I
From
wish we
buckwheat to
would
beauty
have
queen.
now. Ooh. Is that the name of your next from buckwheat to beauty queen? I don't know if you've ever been buckwheat, though.
I was looking a little as if you know me. I hope this isn't like I used to say like Kunta Kinte, like Kizzy. You remember his like daughter? Like, do you remember that? Did you ever watch Roots?
Roots. I did.
Yes.
But I was little, but I know who you talking about, though.
So that's when I look extra rough, I call myself Kizzy. I felt like I was giving a little Kizzy vibes.
So here's the thing. So this is one of the reasons why, like, I've always called you like my mentor, but we are friends,
Yes, we are.
But the thing is, like, you are able to always give me advice, even though you aren't in my industry. You seem to somehow tell me what I need to know to go forward and slay and conquer and divide. And
I think
even
it helps
now,
though that I'm not in your industry because I'm not like distracted by the name.
right? Yeah, that's true.
I can
But
just give you good advice and not be like, but it's Audra McDonald or what do you know what I mean? Like that's the only big
you're like,
name
I know that name.
Yeah, I know that name.
Fresno. Okay. Also, y'all, this is okay. So Chantea is Fresno in the house.
Yes.
A couple of the reasons why you are such a badass is because I remember the day that you were like, you had like 300 followers on Instagram, and you were like, you know what? By the end of this year, I'd like to be an influencer. And a few months later, you had over 10,000 followers. Truly, and a following. I'm like, you have all, and that's just one example of something that you have decided, and then you do it.
Yeah, but I think that's why we're friends though, because you're the same way, Salisha. You're like, I think I want to perform on Disneyland. I think I want to be the highest paid Princess Tiana ever in the world's history of Princess Tiana. Like, you didn't actually articulate that, but you act like we're not in the same company for manifesting and actually doing stuff.
You know what? Thank you for saying that, but I can see it on you. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm the same way. Every time you call me, like, you were like, even this podcast, you were like, I think I'm gonna maybe. I think I just got picked up by I think I just booked all these big names. I mean, come on.
Like, I'm over here trying to keep up with you. And even now, even today, you're like, how am I supposed to make y'all? She said, how am I supposed to make my hair look cute with these earphones? Because we just set up her microphone system for the first time today. I know you're going to have to get on Patreon so you can see this video if you're only listening. Chantea, where are your headphones?
So what I did was I pushed sort of like a crown bang here. and then my headphones are in the middle of my head because I knew that my hair pretty much absorbs just about anything that you would ever see. And so if I could just get it on my stop making that gesture.
You figured this out in 5 minutes.
In part,
I've been
no.
recording for the last month with these stupid headphones on my head.
Girl, that's why it's a hair journey. This ain't my first rodeo with hair, that's for sure. And I don't know. I just knew, there's like basic things about the earth. You know that if you drop a ball and a feather at the same time, they're gonna land and hit the ground at the same time. I knew that if I
Who knows that?
science teacher, sorry. But I also know that if I pull my bangs, you're not gonna see nothing in the back anyway. You're just not gonna see it. So that's what we did.
Okay, another thing I'd like to point out. I'm sorry, I'm just so in awe of this moment. For you to go from your hair was in a bun
Yes.
to just effortless, gorgeous. What is that? You just shake and go. Like,
Yeah,
what is that?
No, I told you that's what I do. I'll take off my headphones just for a second so you can see. But literally, my hair goes. I just sleep with it looking like crazy. Like who's the man who done it? Kizzy, right? I told you Kizzy is who I start with. And so even this looks better than how I slept. Okay. And then what I do is I just start shaking vigorously, shake, shake. And last time we talked, you asked me if I go back and I make sure that the hair always is perfect every time. And the answer is no. You see, I don't. Like if I had a commercial or something really specific where every hair needed to be perfect, then I would. But on a day to day, this is literally my hair routine. That's why when I realized I forgot that we were doing this, because I did, I knew we were doing the tech. I forgot we were actually doing the recording. Oh, you can watch me actually put on my. So I'm going to find an ear and then pull everything forward and then find another ear and then fluff my little. But yeah, what I was saying is that
Amazing.
that I knew that my hair wouldn't take very long because it never takes very long. My hair is not my high maintenance part. That's why I work so hard to get my like brows done and all that. Because if I can make my face low maintenance, I can be out the door in 10 minutes and look like I'm somebody and not Kizzy.
Okay. Okay, so I love that. I remember, and I forget that I've known you for like over. Can you hear me?
Yes, I just had to fix
I forget that I have known you for like over a decade now.
Isn't that crazy, Salisha?
Yeah, to me it seems like yesterday, and so I've watched. I study you. Like I watch you go through these phases and all the things, and it seems like it happened overnight, and nothing happens overnight.
For
Um,
sure.
but I remember when you used to straighten your hair a lot, and it was gorgeous, and you'd go back and forth between your straight hair and your curly hair, and it would be gorgeous. I never noticed any heat damage. I don't even think I knew what that was back then, anyway.
Yeah.
But what is that moment? Because there was a day when you were doing pageants, and I know you were more than just Mrs. California. You've been on a whole bunch of titles, but you used to always have your hair straight for pageants. And one of the things that you told me was like, yeah, hair straight, that's kind of just like the way it goes. And then you ran for a pageant with your curly hair and you won.
Yes.
What was that switch? And also, when did you decide like, yeah, let me try this end of the coin for this arena?
So a couple things happened. Number one, when I competed for Mrs. California, for me, it was more an identity crisis. I literally was struggling with infertility. I was very depressed. I was seeing a psychologist once a week, twice a week sometimes. I could not stop crying because we were trying to have another baby and I felt like a failure. I felt like I couldn't do it. I just was really, really in a dark space. And at that point, my mom had come out of the closet and that was a surprise for me. And I really was just having this identity crisis. And so I entered Mrs. California trying to figure out who the heck I was. And it wasn't like, it sounds so stupid. Literally, that's how I said, I'm going to run a marathon. No, I'm not. I hate to run. I'm going to run a pageant because that's what I like to do. And it's a reason for me to just stay focused on myself and really, really evaluate who I am as a person and what is my cause, what am I passionate about. And I literally went with zero intention of winning. So it wasn't even a hard thing for me to just go as who I was because I didn't go there to win. Had I really wanted to win Mrs. California, I probably would have straightened my hair. Wow. But that wasn't the journey for me. The journey was, I need to find who I am and I need some accountability to make this journey. And so I chose a beauty pageant. And in that journey, I found even more confidence to speak my truth about infertility because and even to speak my truth about my mom coming out the closet and that being a big transition for me, it was a whole year of having to over and over and over again say out loud the things that I was struggling with most deeply. And so my hair was literally an afterthought. It was like not even a thing. I didn't even think about it until my girlfriends text me. They're like, I can't believe you walked on that stage with big hair. And I'm like, I
Right.
mean, yeah, I wasn't literally, I can't believe I walked on that stage with an $80 dress from eBay. That's what I can't believe.
Oh
Like
my gosh.
the fact that my hair was curly wasn't a big deal to me.
Chantea, like just so many things. I think one of the many lessons out of what I just heard you say is that when you are most confident in yourself, when you're like, this is who I am, that is when you're the most winning. Does that
Yeah, that's
translate?
life. Yeah, I think but that's a hard space to find on a day-to-day basis, right? I think
Yeah.
then I was such in a vulnerable space, that's all I could find. Like I was like just trying to pull myself up from my bootstraps. But on a regular Tuesday, I don't really think about, ooh, I'm so fly. You know what I mean? Like I just start
Right.
not really thinking about my hair. And then also the second thing, the reason why I decided to stick with my curly hair at Mrs. United States was because I do get way more compliments on my curly hair than I do on my straight hair. I did know it was a gamble because pageantry outside of Chesley, who really did some amazing things for us with
Right.
curly hair. I
Thank
mean, come
God.
on. And Miss
Come
Universe.
on.
I mean, right? I mean, like that
Yes.
was unbelievable. Real tears went down my eyes when she won with her natural hair.
Huge
Because she
natural
did
hair.
not win with her natural hair at her state pageant, PS. Like that was transformational that she decided to take that risk on the biggest national stage for pageantry anyway. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was randomly a fan of hers even before she was Miss North Carolina. So anyway, all that to say, I feel like you have to it's part of the journey. Part of your hair journey is finding your confidence in day to day. And I was getting more compliments on my curly hair than I was on my straight hair. And so I was like, what the heck? Let's just see what happens, sort of thing. And so, yeah.
Um, Amazing. All of that. I'm like, man, what is that switch for people? Because I remember back in the day, it was not when we wear our hair like this, it was not like a compliment situation. And now I feel like things have
Yeah.
changed. Is that internal or do you think that is an external thing with society?
I think, well, number one, depends on the age range. I remember I
Mm.
used to teach biology, and my students would say, Mrs. McIntyre, it looks like how my mom used to wear her hair in the 80s and 90s. And I would be like, boo, sit down. Like, and then sometimes I find that white people honestly compliment me as much as black people about my
Hmm.
hair, which is a little surprising. I think it's more of a texture thing. Like they can't ever get their hair this big, And then I
Right?
think black girls, we just have like this camaraderie when it comes with hair. We're like, yes, yes, queen, I see
Yes.
your crown,
When
that
I
kind of
see you
thing.
embracing your crown, it's like, yes,
Yes,
you go, girl. All right.
yes.
And another one of the things that you said, Shantea, is first of all, I did not know all of that was happening during that time
At
when
the
you were
same
running.
time. Yeah,
I
I
didn't
didn't
know
really,
that.
it was internal. Yeah.
Um,
Sorry. Made you lose your train of thought.
no, I am just thinking about like I just didn't know. Like as your
Yeah.
friend, I didn't know.
Yeah.
What I saw was somebody who was struggling with infertility, and then you got
I
pregnant.
did get pregnant, and that was wild too. No,
You had
I got
first of
pregnant
all,
with Mariah.
you had six pack. You had more abs than I did on that stage, and you were 3 months
I was 3
pregnant.
months pregnant. That was stressful. Training for a bikini pageant, and I didn't tell anyone because my platform still was infertility, and I was so afraid I was going to lose that baby, and I didn't want that to be part of my storyline. So I just kept it to myself, and really just continue speaking from my truth of I can relate. If you can't have a baby, I know what it feels like. I know the pain, what that feels like, and that was not a lie because I knew that very freshly, and I remember I hit 3 months exactly while I was at Mrs. United States, and I remember sitting there looking at my stomach, knowing that I had to get on a two-piece swimsuit very quickly, like literally the night after, and thinking, "Oh my gosh, this thing is still in here. Like this might actually stick
Happen.
around." And I remember also when an evening where I had practiced like holding in my ribs and contracting my belly so that I could look real slim on stage without killing my baby, of course, because that was not ever going to be the goal. but 30 seconds we can contract an ab, right? And because that's how long you're on stage. But then I forgot to do that in my evening gown, and my makeup artist the next day said, you looked a little pregnant on stage. And I said, that's because I am.
Wait. Your makeup artist said that? How dare her, first of all? Who says that to
She's like,
anybody?
you looked a little poochy in your evening gown. And I was like,
You're like, well, you know what? Thank you, because
thank you. Yes, no. She was the first person I told. She's like, what? It was a really fun moment.
That is so cool. And now, fast forward 4 children
4
later.
children. One of them is hitting the door. I hope you can't hear her.
I
The baby
can't.
is. Okay, good.
Your microphone's doing a good
Hey
job.
now.
Hey now,
4
noise
children.
cancellation.
God is so good. And let me this is not about hair. Just for a moment, I want to say that
No.
please don't tell women who've been struggling with infertility and adopted and then had another baby, oh, I knew that would happen, or that always happens. Because let me tell you, it happens as often as not that women adopt and don't get pregnant. So really, I'm so grateful that God decided that it was part of my journey to adopt a son and then have 2 more babies. But infertility is a real struggle. 1 in 8 women face infertility, and it sucks. The journey sucks. So,
And not a lot of people talk about it.
no, they don't. Yeah, it's sort of a private struggle because it's for me, it was a little bit embarrassing and but we survived.
Oh, now I
4
hear
years later.
Mila.
Uh-oh,
I hear your blessing at the door.
Right?
Mila will be right there.
Right?
I
No.
know.
I'm like, why doesn't my husband hear her? Let me text him.
And one of your babies is my goddaughter. I've never been a godmom
Is
before.
Mila by himself? Sorry, hold on. Is Mila here alone? Let me grab her because I think he just left her. I'm sorry. Hold on, Salisha.
We're gonna edit this.
Hey, is Daddy home? Is Daddy home? No. Oh, Mila, Mommy's so sorry. Mommy's so sorry. Okay, but you have to stop crying, okay? Okay? Do you want to watch some TV on my phone? Yes? Oh my gosh. Here. Okay, you can watch Trolls too. He left her and didn't tell me that he left her. So she's sitting in the house by herself, and that's why she's crying like that, because she's terrified. Turn it down just a little bit, baby. That little turkey butt. So then I text him, is she home by herself? And he's like, oh, yeah.
Can she turn it down a little bit more?
One more time?
Can she turn it down a little bit more?
Yes, of course. Isn't that mean?
Yeah. I mean, he probably just took for, you can't hear me.
I don't
He
know
probably
either.
took for granted that you were here and didn't think about.
Didn't set her up with nothing, no TV, no nothing. Little turkey butt.
I'm
but
glad
anyway.
that you got her.
Me too. I was like, wait a minute, something about that cry is persisting. That was like a mother's love right there. Okay.
Oh, okay. Edit back here.
Back here.
What were we talking about before?
We were talking about infertility and
Oh, yeah.
blessings of children.
Yes, we were talking about all the things, and then we got Mila. I'm so glad that you rescued her from outside.
Yes, me too. Sorry. Okay, here we go.
No, it's okay. So let's pivot. So a lot of people, the goal is to have it. Maybe our generation is changing, but a lot of people, the goal is to have a job that you can count on, to feel secure. Like, okay, I've got my family of 6, my 4 children, me and my husband, and a job with all the figures that we feel confident and safe. And another thing that I love about you, Chantea, is you had that. God blessed you with that, but your goal is something that, like, is not what society would say is like the thing,
Yes.
but it's what would make you happy, which is being a stay-at-home mom.
Yes, I do.
And that was your goal.
Oh, it's always been my goal. The problem with, I think, not the problem. I think the interesting dichotomy dichotomy. I can't say a big word and then not be able to say it. Like that totally takes away the negative points. Anyway, the interesting twist of being a woman and an ambitious woman and then being a mother is that it's really hard for those things to lie together. And so the more I got and developed in my own career, the higher ranks I got and the further I became from my family. And so I really had to make a
Mm.
decision. And I don't think every woman has to make that decision. And I'm super proud of women who can balance it all. But for me, I couldn't do both. And so I decided that at the end of the day, it satisfied me much more to be involved with my children and know them deeply and be present when I was with them than to continue to climb the ranks of my career. So, but the problem was every time I would say that out loud, I would get another promotion and in
Oh,
essence be further away from my family. And so finally, this last time when I was offered another promotion, I said, no. In fact, I'm quitting. And so, I mean, it didn't happen quite, that literally and that seamlessly, but
but kind
literally,
of though.
yeah, kind of. And
Kind
so,
of.
um, yeah, I just couldn't do it anymore. I worked in education and I didn't know my kids' teachers' names. And I was a little tired of that. So God is good. I feel like one thing that you and I both can relate to is that God really does listen to the whispers of your heart. And so if you
Yeah.
say something and really put some energy behind that thing, God is faithful. So
Ah, I love that. We're probably gonna have a commercial break here.
look at you, fancy.
I'm like thinking, I'm thinking. Um, sorry, it's not as fluid as last
No,
time.
it's all right.
What should that was because that was perfectly said. So I'm like, we can just go right into a
Commercial.
commercial.
Yes.
What else should I ask you?
Should we talk about hair journeys? Maybe like a little more specifically, not so much pageantry, but just like how we landed here. I think last time we talked about how we decided big chops. I don't know, any of that sort of thing if we're
Oh
going to talk
yeah,
about hair.
another thing that I've watched you do, which is against the grain
Mm.
once again, is you've had the biggest freaking hair, like huge curls down your back. And while everyone is trying to grow most of my friends are trying to grow their hair out, you chopped yours off and
You
it
don't cut my
looks
hair a lot.
fantastic. Like, okay, for those who cannot see her, like this is the short version of how her hair has been in the last few years. And it looks so great, even with the microphone on, even with
Microphone
the
hating on me a
earphones
little bit right
on.
now.
How did you where does that confidence come from to cut your hair and just be able to rock it like you do?
Oh yeah, that's not confidence though. That is survival. That is because when people see how much hair I have, they charge me double. And I don't have money for double. So if they'll say, "Oh, a trim," back when I was getting my hair flat iron, it would be like a press and curl of 65. I'd walk out of there $130 later and I'm like, "Dude,
Not
your
cool.
signage sheet says 65. Why am I paying double?" Literally, that's the story of my life. And so I got tired of paying people double. So I learned very early how to color my own hair, cut my own hair, perm my own hair when I was doing perms, like the whole nine, because I just got tired of being taken advantage of. I felt like maybe I do have a lot, but I feel like it balances out. When the sister before me didn't have a lot of hair, I have a lot like you did. I don't know. No shade to hairdressers. I'm just saying that was part of my journey why I started
But
doing it
no,
myself.
this is the part of the conversation these especially being on set. How is it
Mhm.
being on set as a Black woman? Have you ever been left to do your own hair? Or do they always know what to do with your curls? Like
Yeah. Oh,
what do they do?
on set, I don't let them touch it.
You
Um,
don't want them to touch it.
I don't want them to touch it. Mm-mm. I don't. I'm early in my modeling career, I was much more open to just letting them put whatever the heck they wanted to. I wouldn't even ask questions. They'd put some sort of like balm on their hand and I would just let them go to town. I remember one time I didn't wasn't having the best hair day and I put a wig on, a synthetic wig, and no one even noticed. PS. But then the hairdresser tried to curl it with a curling iron and it melted. And I'm like, girl, you didn't know this was a wig? Like, come on. And you didn't know it was a synthetic wig? Like, you couldn't look at it and touch it. And anyway, so, but for them now that I'm a little older, I literally like, what you got? What is there? Silicone? What product are you
Right.
about to put on my hair before they even go? Yeah, no, I
Oh,
care
I
a lot
love that.
more.
Especially since you know what is up. Like when we're younger, we don't always know until you like
Mhm.
figure it out or learn. Would you feel more comfortable if it was a person of color? Or is it a person of color that
Um,
you're like, "No, don't touch my hair," or is it white people? Like,
no, I can't say I've had people of color do my hair often enough to even say what I would normally do. But I do think I would advocate enough for my hair to say what you got, what you putting on there, because I don't want oil sheen on it. Just because I figured out a routine of what works for my hair. And so um I think I would speak up.
okay, so you went down to LA and you got your hair done at what is it? The
Did. I
Acapella
got
Salon or is it the
yes,
Capella?
Capella, I think it was, yeah.
The Acapella.
Yes,
I'm such a
acapella.
singer. You went to the Acapella Salon? The
That's
Capella
awesome.
Salon. How was that experience? Was it life-changing? Was it so-so? How was it?
Yes, so the backstory of that was Salisha got tired of me saying that I was getting my hair cut at Supercuts, which is real life what I was doing.
How did that even happen, by the way? But, like, go on.
And so Salisha said, "You have to get a diva cut." And I'm like, "That says $300 on the paper." So if it says $300 on the paper, I know I'm walking out with 700. Like that
Right,
the price
with
tag freaked
products,
me out. Yes.
with tip, with
Yes.
extras.
Yes, and I did walk out of there $700 later. I think by the time I got product and tip and the whole thing, I was pretty doggone close to 700 bucks. But with that said, it was life changing. I think the texture that you see right now, this is all Capella Salon. I can't
Janae.
remember Janae.
Janae?
Thank you. I was like, I can't remember her name, and she was like the best, sweetest soul. She really taught me a lot about how to take care of my hair. So it wasn't even just a haircut. It was more like this is the things you need to do, almost like what your mom should do for you. But our moms didn't have the same, they weren't after the same look. And so she literally took me to hair school and she said, "This is how you wash your hair. This is how you rake in product. This is how you should add water while you add conditioner. They're friends. You water, you condition, you water, you condition, and then you
They're
leave it."
friends.
Yeah. And so I didn't realize the relationship that water needed to have with my hair until that salon. And now, I mean, literally, I remember we were talking in a different conversation about how I literally, sorry, I just realized my battery's going to die.
Uh-oh. Oh, mine
Yes.
is too. That might be the end of our conversation.
I can grab it. I can grab it. But I saw the light dim. Sorry. But I noticed after that salon that my hair literally has a different texture, and I didn't know that it had the potential to even have this sort of ringlet situation. I didn't have this hair prior to that salon, so that was
And
a
it's
good
so
investment.
crazy because, like, prior to the salon, your hair was bomb, but literally, your hair looks fantastic. But when you left the salon, this new how
It's
the life
different.
of your hair,
Yeah.
it's next level,
No,
Chantea.
I
It's
I
awesome.
appreciate that, and I do agree with you. I agree that it's next level. I didn't even know. I remember her saying when she was cutting my hair, she's like, "You're at 1% of your potential." I'm like, "1%? Like, that's low key mean?" You know what I mean? Like, but also I was like, "All right, if you say so." And now I'm seeing the light that it is different. And I would say one thing that if you could take away from me that you really should stop using as part of my journey is silicones and sulfates really are the antithesis of really great hair. So if you could just start paying attention to your hair products and start using ones that don't have sulfates, silicones, or phosphates, if you're kind of get fancy, you'll see a real big transition for your hair.
Okay. I feel like our computers are both about to die, and you're one of my best friends, so you're gonna be back. So I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
I
Thank
love
you for coming on.
you.
I love you so much. Y'all, please go follow Chantea McIntyre. Do her 30-day sex challenge on her blog. It's the bomb. She's the bomb.
What?
Yes, you're the bomb. Listen to her podcast. What is it called?
We are transitioning. It's about marriage. Love school. That's what we're calling it. Like old
Ooh.
school. Love school.
Ooh, love
Yes.
school.
Yeah.
Um, I love you. Thank you for hanging out
I
with me
love
for a few minutes.
you. Thank
I'll see
you. Thanks for having me,
you.
friend. I love you.
Love you too.